Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 980.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about why 26% of Americans think their finances are going to be worse in 2022. I saw this article and I really wanted to talk with you about this because there's a quarter of us who fully expect that things are going to be worse. But before I get to that article and share some of the statistics with you, let's talk a little bit about mindset and expectation. Because if you're expecting something to get worse, you're typically going to get what you expect. So setting yourself up for that negative expectation is something you want to be really careful not to do if you can help it. That doesn't mean that you're not facing reality or that if something's really bad in your future and you know it's coming down the road that you're trying to put your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you have a choice to be optimistic or be pessimistic, you always want to take the optimistic approach if you can. That's what I have found is best for your happiness, best for your health, and also can impact the outcome to be a more positive outcome, to be something that isn't as bad as you're expecting, to be something that actually works out okay. So having said all of that, now let's address this article from CNBC.com that was written by Michelle Fox. And it says that with prices rising, many Americans are concerned about their financial outlook for the year. Inflation surged 6.8% in November from a year ago, the fastest pace since 1982, according to the U.S. Department of Labor. People are paying more for everything from gas for their cars to food that they put on the table. And energy prices are up 33.3%. And housing costs, categorized as shelter in the Consumer Price Index, increased 3.8%, the highest since 2007. But we have to pause there and say, well, we know that in a lot of areas, housing prices were up 18%, and in some places even more than that. So the Consumer Price Index isn't really categorizing all the housing costs exactly as what we're seeing in the real world. For those of us who own homes, that's great home appreciation, but for those people who are trying to buy homes, that's a nightmare for housing prices to skyrocket so much and to get into bidding wars because there's not enough inventory. Meanwhile, food prices jumped 6.1%. The article goes on to say, for those that are trying to pay down debt or catch up on savings, it's very much an obstacle to progress. But here's where we get that 26% statistic. 26% of Americans believe their financial situation will be worse in 2022, and of those, 70% believe inflation is the biggest barrier to their success, a Bankrate survey found. And the survey showed that baby boomers, 79% of them said that their financial situations would worsen in 2022 because of inflation. Of Generation Xers, 73% said their financial situation would worsen, and of Millennials, 53% said their financial situation would worsen in 2022. And this was a survey of 2,460 adults concluded by YouGov PLC, which was online from November 29th to December 1st. In addition, 42% believe their finances will stay about the same, with 44% of those respondents citing inflation as the reason for the lack of improvement. The Federal Reserve had long said it expected inflation to be short-lived since it's being driven by COVID-19's supply chain and demand issues. However, the central bank announced in December it will take moves to combat inflation. It's going to accelerate the reduction of its monthly bond purchases, and then will start raising interest rates, which is expected to begin in late winter or early spring. The central bank typically raises interest rates to slow the economy and bring inflation down. In the meantime, tracking your spending and looking for opportunities to take advantage of sales, coupons, and various discounts and loyalty programs are a good idea, according to Greg McBride, Chief Financial Analyst at Bankrate. He recommends redeeming your cashback credit card rewards as a way to defray out-of-pocket expenses and using the stash of gift cards that you may have tucked away. Other top reasons cited by those who don't anticipate any financial improvement include the COVID-19 pandemic, stagnant or declining wages, personal debt, and fluctuating interest rates. Of the 1/3 who expect their financial situation to improve, 46% attributed it to making more money at work, and 36% said having less debt. End of article. Well, remember we've talked about how this is the year to ask for a bigger pay raise because inflation is so much higher. If you haven't listened to my podcast about that, I encourage you to do that. This is the year to really get strong with your boss because you've got the power. Since hiring people is getting harder and harder for employers, you really have all of the power and position to navigate that and to leverage that situation so that you can get a bigger pay raise. So ask for more money this year. That's one thing that you want to do. You also want to make sure you've got your resume updated. If you need to go out and get additional job opportunities to leverage against your current pay, that's another way to do it. Go out and get a higher offer. Tell your boss you have another offer. That's another way that you can potentially make more money this year. There are things that you have within your control, and that's why you need to stay positive and not just resign yourself to the fact that things are going to be terrible. So we want to keep a positive attitude. We want to take proactive measures when we can. We want to do all the things to put all the opportunity on our side to make us have a positive outcome in 2022, rather than going into the year expecting a worse outcome. So if there's any way at all that you have that flexibility to think a little bit more positively, to take some proactive measures, I really encourage you to do that. We're on the final few days of my giveaway for leaving book reviews on Amazon. Since my new book, 3 Steps to Quantum Wealth, The Wealth Heiress's Guide to Financial Freedom by Investing in Cryptocurrencies, came out this year, I have a giveaway where you're automatically entered when you leave a book review on Amazon. You can win autographed copies of the book. You can win $100 of XRP cryptocurrency, a one-on-one wealth mentoring session with me, or a lifetime membership in the Be Wealthy and Smart VIP experience, my private investing circle. All you need to do is leave a book review on Amazon and you're automatically entered to win. Then come back here on January 17th and see if I read your name out as one of the winners of the drawing. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.